All right, welcome back to this week's Tesla Talk. I actually just got back, did my second trip to Chicago month of July. My family and I went to Benson Boone concert in Chicago. Not a huge Benson Boone fan, but puts on a great concert. So we had great seats, but that was a great time. Saturday, went on the 606, which is just a elevated walking, running path there in Wicker Park of Chicago. That's where we kind of stayed. We stayed at the Roby. Mostly walked. I'm still dealing with a knee issue. It's getting way better. I figure I'm probably another week or two away from actual running. I think I'll start out with probably just a quick 3 mile, see how my knee goes. Walking's fine, but just kind of the pounding when running is, so I did do some walk and run just to test it out. That's feeling better. So that was all good. And then we went to the rooftop bar and pool for the afternoon. Now we went and saw the movie The Odyssey at one of those 4K interactive theaters there in Chicago. So the seats moved and you got hit with air and water and all that stuff. So it was very immersive. So it was pretty good. And then Sunday we did a quick brunch on Division Street there in Chicago at Elia, I believe. It's kind of Mediterranean type of brunch, so it was really good. And then we came home. So just a quick trip to Chicago. Weather was wonderful, so that was good. Just a little overcast, wasn't full sun, but it was still good. And I also had a great time. But that's basically it for the next, as far as travel's concerned, for the next 5 weeks. The next trip is to Punta Cana. There'll be a group of us going. We're getting a villa, so I believe it's a 4-bedroom villa there on the resort. So that's going to be awesome. So looking forward to that. I've got to get in better shape, look better. Today was the first day. Weighed in about 170, trying to get to 160 in about 5 weeks. I've got to put the time and effort in. So I'm really going to cut my carbs almost nothing and up the cardio. So that's happening over the next 5 weeks. I'll give you some progress on that. And hopefully my knee will hold up. If not, then it's going to be a lot of rowing and biking, just weightlifting and maybe some walking on the treadmill. Try to get up to between 3 and 5 miles when I do that with a weighted vest. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll keep it up today. As far as the week's concerned, it's going to be kind of boring. It's full of appointments, review appointments for existing clients, and I got some new clients, obviously new people coming in. So first time meeting with them, full week, but no real outside appointments. That doesn't hit till next week. We'll have that happen. What else? I do plan to step back into the spa. And not that my manager or assistant manager is doing a bad job. I just, at the end of the day, if you don't have skin in the game, I think you kind of get into a little bit of complacency, which is common. I have ownership. I see the numbers. We're still losing money. So it means that, my capital is going into it. And I talk about almost every video. So I got to quit doing that. But the reality of it is, when you have skin in the game, you have a sense of urgency that every member that you lose is just lost revenue. And we've had a lot of members cancel this month. We started the month out, June I thought was good, and I thought we started July really good. So I just got a little complacency that things are going well. We lost a front staff person, so we've just hired a new front desk person. So we've got to get them trained. So you got to look at them as an expense at this point. Hopefully they'll become an asset once they get trained and, know the kind of ins and outs. So we're working on that. I've had a lot of people asking for raises. Got hit with it again this weekend with a therapist. As far as the market is concerned, I'm paying at the high end for my therapist. And when you're dumping money into a losing operation and then you have employees that want to raise, I get it on their side, inflation and things like that. But obviously, there's hours that can be had, whether it's nights and weekends. That's how you make more money. But it seems like every time I give a raise to people, they cut their hours. So it's self-defeating in that way because we need them to work the same or more hours because most therapists don't work more than 30 hours a week. So yes, it's the toughest business I've ever owned, and I've owned a ton. If you read my book, 28 Summers, you'll see. And this one is the hardest for me to get around because, as we get more members, in theory, you need to add more therapists. So then you basically add expense to it, but you're hoping that the revenue you're generating from the members outstrip the wages of the therapist providing the services. So, and that has been one of those where, it's like we seem to get ahead a little bit, and then we go, okay, we got to get new therapists. We get new therapists, and then it flip-flops where our expenses go up and our revenues, and we have cancellations, and that goes down. And so then you have to market, so you have to spend money on marketing. You got to do these BOGOs, which you make virtually no money on, but you're trying to get new people into the facility so you can pitch them and get them to become members. So it's just like this unending cycle of starts and stops and going backwards, and then you think you get ahead, and then it's mind-boggling to me. So, but other than that, the wealth management business is doing really, really well. That kind of offsets it. But at some point, and I don't know when that point is, I don't know if it's 5 years from now or if it's 5 months from now. And my wife and I talked about it a little bit. We have these 3-hour trips. We get mainly it's talking about business, because she's doing some consulting. She's bringing a consultant in her practice, and that's kicking off. So we talked about that a little bit. But we also talked about the spa, and she has really nothing to do with the spa. She has her hands full with what she's doing. So it's really my baby. All she hears is the negatives, the money we have to dump into it. We're losing money. We had this person quit. We've lost these number of members. So I'm trying to be as positive as possible. The reality of it is it's very difficult a lot of times. And so I'm trying to stay positive with the members or with the employees, with my wife, in my own head, because you get this negativity that creeps into your mind and it really just sets you back. It provides zero positive purpose. So sometimes I have to step back and say, okay, gratefulness, look at the number of members you do have, look at the number of quality employees we do have. Look at the great facility that we have. Look at all the positive reviews we have on Google, which we do. So those are the things I'm having to do today, is the feeling of gratefulness. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my employees. I'm grateful that, I have a wealth management business that has done extremely well, and it pays me extremely well, and it provides a lot of free cash flow that I'm able to do to keep this other business going, hopefully to the point of profitability. That could be, sometimes I think maybe that's a double-edged sword, that because I do have such a good cushion that I personally don't, I think I talk about urgency. I wrote a book on urgency. I try to live my life through the urgency glasses, but sometimes I think maybe I have too good a cushion. I don't feel that sense. And so maybe I get a little lazy around the spa. I let some things slide and I just kind of forget about it, because who wants to put a ton of time and effort into it and it's still losing money, and it's like, am I making any progress? Our revenues are going up, but our expenses are going up, so it's just like we never get ahead of the curve. But I'm trying to be positive. Got to get back to training like an athlete, eating like an athlete. I set a goal for a certain weight in 5 weeks when I take my trip to Punta Cana. And there's another thing to be grateful for. I do vacation a lot. I think that's very important, to take time off and time away. So it's not really to get away from something. It's really to just clear your mind and have some clear thinking. And, I think of things I can do in the wealth management practice. I think of things we can do at Lux. I also, which is part of my ADHD, is I bought a domain name probably 8 months ago. I just had this real inner thing with me that I want to build a product that I can grow that's not just local. If you think about my two businesses, they're just kind of local oriented. It's not a national brand. While the wealth management, the company is a national brand, my practice is not a national brand. I have this desire to build a national brand, and I'm going to start doing that with this one. I'm not sure I'm going to hire anyone. I'm going to try to do everything I can on my side, on my free time, and I'm actually going to take you guys with us. I got to put that through and get it approved before I start that process. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to energize me. It's a needed product. It's a niche product. We'll see. I've had some other products, like Men's Youth Shop was a men's facial thing. I still have it out there. I do virtually nothing with it, so I virtually get nothing from it. I also started a company called Strips, STRYPS. That was a sleep aid, because I have an issue with sleeping, as everyone I've kind of talked about. I get up at 3 a.m. just because I wake up and I can't go back to sleep. So I know that a lot of people have sleep problems. Strips was and this came from a conversation with a doctor that I'm friends with about taking testosterone or any of that stuff. If you take it orally, that goes in your stomach, you lose I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a large percentage of what gets digested so it doesn't get into your system. And then you have people with GLP-1s that'll slow down your digestive system. And so all these products out there that, especially on sleep, if you're taking it orally, you're not seeing the effects of it for a long time, several hours, and not the full effect. Taking an oral strip that dissolves, on your tongue and it gets into your bloodstream really quickly, in my mind, was a great product, because I think the delivery system, while limited, I think, as technology moves along, you'd be able to put more products in that. So sleep, just probiotics, maybe even peptides at some point. That's still on the back burner. I have 1,000 ideas, but we just couldn't get the manufacturer. I mean, there were times the manufacturer wouldn't get back to me for like 2 or 3 weeks, and sometimes not at all. So I was like, how can I build a business around this when I can't even get the manufacturer to communicate? So we kind of threw this on the back burner, really working on the 28 Summers and the framework for that for business. That's still in the works. It takes a long time. We've got the website being worked on. It's kind of some of the sales stuff and things like that. So that's being worked on in the background. So the new product, I'm not going to announce it now, wait to get it approved. But basically, it's something that if that product goes, then I can add a few to that down the road. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, that's almost to get to work. It's kind of sad because I think we're at the end of July. So summer's, we're about to go into fall in my mind. Anytime we get past the British Open or the Open golf tournament, I think the summer is about open or about come to an end. So it's kind of sad. So another summer, 28 Summers. All right. Hope you have a good week. My views are going up, which is good. I think that's awesome. I think my team is feeling positive about that. I did decide to cut off one social media platform because I really don't like it. I don't think it's really going to fit what we're doing. So we've narrowed it down to YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'm not a huge LinkedIn fan, but they say that's a good place for building businesses and consulting and things like that. So we're going to continue with that platform. So you can follow us there. So hope you guys have a great week.